So, you know, most of these jokes I've stolen and changed and everything, you know. And so it's okay to, if you steal from one person, it's plagiarism, but to steal from many is research. I was a child prodigy. At 3, I drew a perfect circle. At 4, I painted like Picasso. At 5, I understood Duchamp. At 5:30, I went down to the bar and had a whiskey and a cigar.
I love the idea of him doing stand-up comedy because I do think that that connects to something that is a very deep point of origin for all of this work, which goes back to Dada and the so-called incoherence, which was a movement from the 19th century. I'm Larry Rinder, and I'm the director of the Berkeley Art Museum and Pacific Film Archive. Performance art right now is one of the hottest things in the art world, and museums have really embraced performance and its history as well as its current practice.
I'm a first-generation conceptual artist. That's, you know, like from the late 60s and early 70s, you know. And conceptual artists are free to work in any medium except painting, you know. But someday I'm going to retire from art and take up painting, you know. In 1970, I founded the Museum of Conceptual Art, and then I founded the Vision magazine and the Art Orchestra, and I've supported artists. And do you think I'm known for all that? No. And you fuck one sheep.
What Tom did with MoCA was groundbreaking in terms of sound art, performance art, what is called body art, for example. And MoCA itself was really one of the very first so-called alternative spaces.
2 works I'm most known for. 1 second sculpture from 1969 where I threw a metal tape measure in the air and it fell to the ground and it existed for 1 second, made a sound and everything, you know. And now that's become a piece that I'm known for. And also the one I'm most known for is the act of drinking beer with friends is the highest form of art. Well, this is what I'm famous for. Drinking beer with friends. So one time I'm talking to a group and I'm explaining about my beer with friends, you know, and somebody said, I do that all the time with my friends. Is that art? And I said, no, it's a copy of my art. Here's a quote from Benjamin Franklin. He says, a beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy.
Kind of an interesting story of how the MoCA archive came to my attention and then came into the collection of the Berkeley Art Museum and Pacific Film Archive. I was contacted by a young man by the name of Charles Kosak who was interested in doing some internship at the museum, and I gave him an assignment to research the leading conceptual artists, and I gave him a list of names and I said, go and get me information about these people. So Charles went out and dutifully did that, and after one of his trips he came back and he said, you know, Tom Marioni, one of the people you asked me to research, is thinking of selling the archive of the Museum of Conceptual Art. And he said, well, do you want it? And I said, yes. He said, okay, I'll see what I can do. And he went off and talked with his friend Michael Nafee, and ultimately Michael and his family agreed to acquire the archive for the museum. So it was a very fortuitous, almost accidental occurrence, you know, that I had this wonderful intern who happened at that time to be going around and talking to people like Tom, and that this intern happened to have a connection who was interested in supporting this really important acquisition.
About 15 years ago, the art critic came to my studio to look at my work, and I said, what is your opinion of my work? And he said, it's worthless. And I said, I know, but I'd like to hear it anyway.